Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to be reviewing the 2004 comedy Eurotrip, which marks its 20th anniversary, which is hard to believe. You have Scott Thomas, Scotty. So the main plot of this is he ends up going to Europe, to Germany, to meet Mika, a woman that he has been doing this pen pal email friendship over the internet for a few years now, I believe. And throughout the process of this, him and his friends end up going through a lot of unfortunate things, a lot of funny things, a lot of bad things, but nonetheless, just a lot going on throughout the film. And throughout this process, Scott, at the beginning, Scott ends up getting, his girlfriend breaks up with him after graduation ceremony, and at one point he thinks Mika is actually Mike, a guy, especially after Cooper kind of like tells him, hey, that you're talking to a dude. But we do find out from Scott's brother that no, Mike is not Mike, it's pronounced Mika, which is a German name that's similar to our Michelle. Once Scott finds out, that's when him and Cooper go to Europe. They bump into Jamie and Michelle Trachtenberg's character, which I can't remember the name. And throughout the whole process of them getting to where they need to, a lot of things happen. That's the better way to sum up the plot. This film is just fantastic. For 20 years, it still holds up. You've got some great cameos. Vinnie Jones is in this as well, who is fantastic. That's how I became a fan of his, and how I became a fan of the Manchester United football team is because of this movie. To even look back and realize this movie is 20 years old just blows my mind. Yes, there are certain things that are outdated, like the flip phone. There are there's another thing that's outdated on here, and I can't think of it because it just like lost the train of thought on it. Um, but nonetheless, yeah, the internet, the pen pal email thing, definitely outdated to that extent. But everything else I think works out great. Now, what I do like are some of the little things that happen throughout the film that you might not be aware of, like the Scotty doesn't know song. Throughout the film, there are moments in this film that we get like different interpretations of that song. It's like this ongoing gag throughout the film that if you're not paying too much attention to it, you're gonna miss out on it. But I think it works really, really well, which I like. I thought that was pretty cool. But other than that, I think that's the only ongoing gag throughout this film. Of course, you do get a lot of cameos, some really recognizable faces. But nonetheless, I just think it's a fun, early to mid 2000s comedy. Um, the cast at this time wasn't really well known other than Michelle Trachtenberg, and then the cameos that you see were all established actors or actresses who have done other things throughout their career. Um, but like the three up top here, the actors who play Jamie, Scotty, and Cooper, they've kind of gone on to do other things after this. Cooper would go on to do 21 with Jim Sturgis, and then before that, because that came out in 2008, a year before that in 2007, he'd be in Across the Universe with Jim Sturgis. And then the actor who plays Jamie is the bully in Gunther and the Paper Brigade. Not too long after this, he would go on to do like a horror film and then a few other stuff. And then the actor who plays Scotty is in a drama that stars Josh Peck. You guys will know exactly what I'm talking about. If you've seen it, it's such an underrated film, not one I hear people talk about. But at the time, a lot of them were not really that well known. I don't know what they've been in since, but again, there are others who are well established at this point. And the score to this is fantastic. You have a nice blend of like well-known songs and just like out of the ordinary like European songs in different languages, and I think it works out really well. I'm trying to figure out what was another ongoing gag on this, but I can't remember other than the Scotty. Oh, it wasn't more of like an ongoing gag, but there's a scene with Cooper where he constantly gets phone calls throughout the film from his boss, and he plays it off so well that his boss doesn't even realize he's gone to Europe. So by the end of the film, when his boss calls and you find out he's getting a raise and a big bonus, it just blows your mind. Like throughout this whole film, he's just been covering his ass and it's been working. And I thought that worked out really, really well. But yeah, it's just a fun movie. It's to me, I find it underrated. It's not one people talk about. It does have a weird release because the unrated version took a little while to get a release compared to the rated version, which I don't know why. But yeah, I wish I could say more about this film. If you've seen it, you know. If you haven't, check it out. Um, the quality on this looked absolutely amazing. Um, I do have a 4K player, so a lot of times it'll upscale my movies. So between it upscaling it and just the quality of the Blu-ray alone, it looked amazing. There was some great detail, like the sand on the beach really stood out for me. Some details in the expressions of some of the characters' faces really, really stood out. And yeah, just all in all, I think the film looked truly amazing. And I think the transfer on this really, really worked. So if you're looking to pick it up, I'd highly recommend you do so. But nonetheless, that is my review for the 2004 comedy Eurotrip. Let me know what your thoughts are on this movie. If you haven't seen it, give it a watch. I think you guys will enjoy it. Don't forget to subscribe. And with that being said, I'm Film Talk with Mikey, and we'll talk films. Peace.